I kind of just wanted to talk to you for a few minutes. I had another trucker wife ask me a question that is, it weighs on a lot of the trucker wives' minds. When does it get easier when it's time for them to go and to head back out onto the road? Unfortunately, it doesn't get easier. In our case, we pretty much made plans at the beginning of G entering into the trucking industry, and the end goal was, once the kids were grown and living their own lives, I was going to hop on the truck, and that's what happened. And so it did get easier, but it took some time for us in our specific situation, because kids grew up, and I took care of Grandma for 2.5 years, and then I got on the truck. So I don't have to say goodbye to him anymore. I get to go with him. But those of you significant others that do stay home and dread the day that it comes that, their home time is done and they've got to go back on the road, to provide for the family, it is very rough. When I was in that situation, it was usually the day before G had to leave that I'd find myself getting upset and crying or mad and angry because I knew he had to leave. But on the other hand, from their perspective, he didn't want to go. He went because, that's how he provided for us, for his family, for our family.
Don't let her fool you. It was my only break.
Believe me, he really didn't want to go as much as I didn't want him to go. So I just, while I was home, I busied myself. There was a point where I did work, and I took care of the kids and took them to ball games and different events and everything like that, and that really helped to keep my time occupied. But when I knew it was time for him to come home, I would get so tickled and so excited. But then when I also knew that it was time for him to leave the next day, it would hurt like heck. And the day came, and I made sure he had all he needed in the truck and was supplied for his next go round of being out on the road. And I'd give him a hug and a kiss, and I'd watch him get in the truck. I watched the truck leave the driveway, and I'd watch the truck disappear out of sight. And then I'd go back inside and I'd bawl my eyes out. And if it wasn't for my kids and staying busy, I probably would have just went back to bed and stayed in bed and spent my time there until it was time for him to come home next. But I knew I couldn't do that. I had to pick myself up, and I had to continue on. Talk to him on the phone. He'd call me a couple hours later when he had better cell service, because we do live out in the sticks. And throw my headset on and talk to him while I was doing this, that, or the other. But every situation is different. Like I said with ours, we had a game plan. At the end, when the kids were grown and I was done taking care of Grandma, for me to hop on the truck. So I don't have to say goodbye anymore. And for those of you that are coming into the industry, it's going to be really tough, being apart from each other on both ends, because you guys were used to being together prior to going into the trucking industry. And some of you, coming into it, your significant other has already been in the trucking industry, and it's going to be really tough on you too. But you just try to do everything you can to occupy your time, and know that they're not doing it because it means freedom or getting away from you or anything like that, or getting away from the kids.
Yes,
or anything.
It does.
Oh, hush. It means providing for the family. It means taking care of the family, and it means stepping up. And I just had to be honest, it never gets any easier. It never does. And I wish I could tell you that it does, but it doesn't, because you love them so much and you don't want to see them go. Well, I just kind of wanted to touch base, and if any of y'all have any questions or anything like that, or just want to see my page, it's Mrs. G on Facebook. Come over, check it out. We're very welcoming, And if you have any questions, shoot me a message off there.
Check out Road Warriors.
I'm more than happy to help. And we also have another group. It's called Road Warriors, and they're very welcoming as well. And if you have any questions, whether you be the driver or the spouse, you know, someone's there that can answer it. All right, thanks for you guys' time. Bye, guys.